Right. What insurance does a fiber optic splicing contractor need? My name is Nate Jones. I'm the owner of Wexford Insurance, and we insure probably over 70 to 80 fiber optic splicing companies across the nation outside of Alaska and Hawaii. So today I'm going to tell you the coverages that you need to get on the job site because you're going to be working for one of the internet service providers or as a subcontractor for a prime. So I'm going to tell you the coverages that you often need and the anticipated cost of those coverages as you grow your splicing business. Okay, so this is dependent on the state. So I'm going to give you ranges based on the states because some states are higher than the others because of the local laws. Okay, so if you're fiber optic splicing, the main coverage that you'll need is general liability. That is, if somebody gets hurt on the job site because of you, they trip over one of your toolboxes or something like that, or they trip over a cable and get hurt, and for some reason they're going to blame it on you, they're going to sue you. It's bodily injury. So if you caused harm to somebody else who's unrelated to your business, that coverage will defend you. Also, property damage. So let's say for some reason you break something on the job site, something crazy happens that is as a result of you doing your job, even though it may not even be 100% your fault. This policy will defend you. So general liability covers those liability claims for you operating your business. So you bare minimum, you need this. And for a one-man shop doing up to $100,000 a year, we can get policies as low as $300 to $400 for the year, $30 to $40 a month. If you're in certain states where your revenue is higher, maybe you have some employees, it can go up to $2,000 for the year, but usually general liability for fiber optic splicers, we don't see above $2,500 for the year. Super easy, low risk business from a general liability standpoint. Outside of general liability, if you have employees that are working for you or 1099ers that are underneath your company umbrella, you will need workers' compensation. A lot of the contracts require you to have workers' compensation. So we have a lot of contractors who have a workers' compensation policy that only covers them as the owner. Depending on your state, because there's minimum payrolls in different states, it can be anywhere from $1,200 for the year, $1,500 for the year, $2,000, sometimes in $600. But we can find a policy to cover you as the owner. If you have employees, you can exclude yourself as the owner, and usually the policies run about the same cost. Okay, so let's say a fiber optic splicing business with one or two employees. Right now, you're only looking at probably under $2,000 for the year, just for general liability and work comp. Outside of those two coverages, if you're with a big vendor, they might require you to have commercial auto insurance. So that just covers a truck, and that could be as low as $1,500 for the year, $1,000, $2,000, sometimes higher in states like Florida and Texas. You go up to $3,000, maybe $4,000 a year, and that's just business auto policy that we're just similar to a personal auto policy, but it's in your business name and broader coverage for the business. They require $1 million policy. The general liability is $1 million policy. The workers' comp is $1 million policy limit. Basically, you have coverage up to $1 million for a claim. So general liability, workers' compensation, commercial auto. Another coverage that they might require, if you're renting equipment, if you're renting those splicers, then you might need contractors' equipment coverage. That covers if the equipment's stolen, people do steal those out of your truck, or if they're destroyed because of a storm or a fire or anything like that. So contractors' equipment. Also, another coverage if you're working for a pretty big vendor, they might require you to have umbrella liability, and that's excess liability coverage that sits over your general liability, potentially over your auto, and potentially over your work comp. So what does that mean? Well, you have a $1 million general liability policy. Well, they want you to have a $5 million umbrella that sits over the general liability. So then you'd have a total of $6 million in limits. So that's just a contract requirement. Some of the big vendors, they want you to have at least $6 million total in liability limits. That's just the requirement they have with their ownership, their board of directors. So to get on the job site, sometimes it is a headache because you're like, man, I have to buy all this insurance just to get on the job site and do work. Yes, it is a requirement. There's no way around it. We work with tons of fiber optic companies, directional drillers, splicers, overhead. It does not matter. And we know exactly the requirements that need to be met, and we make sure that they're met on your certificate. We turn certificates around within an hour. So if you are looking for a quote for this coverage, please hit us up. We are a specialized insurance agency in the construction space, primarily in the fiber optic space. So work with somebody who knows what they're doing, because if they don't know what they're doing, they're going to write a policy and it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for them to get a COI that's approved by the vendor. yes, it is not as simple as just sending a COI and they're like, cool, you're getting on the job site. There has to be special wording on it. There has to be special coverages. There can't be certain exclusions on the policy. It is very in-depth, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to screw something up. So we know exactly what needs to be done on those policies because we do them every single day. So hit us up. There'll be a link on the first pinned comment to where you can reach out and request a quote. And one of our sales members, we have 7 agents here that can help you out right away. If you call us, you're going to get a human being, and we have agents. We sit in Indiana, but we help companies in all 48 states minus Alaska and Hawaii. So reach out to us below. I have the phone number or the quote link. If you fill out the quote link, we'll shoot you a text and an email. And then if you want to call us, you can just reply to the text. So we're not going to call you like crazy. We don't have time for that. So hit us up. We'd be happy to help you out.